The wild thing about social media is that celebrities are also on it with the general public. If you really sit and think about this, it's unprecedented, really. Never before have you been able to send a direct message to a celebrity unless you, found their home address and started writing letters to them. Now they're on social media for a reason, though. They understand the power of its reach, and so they take advantage of that to grow their audience like everyone else. Unfortunately for them, not all clout is good clout. Especially during the pandemic, a lot of celebrities were exposed on social media. Whether it was Kim Kardashian being exposed for photoshopping an image, or Ellen DeGeneres getting called out for being mean. Let's take a look at some of the celebrities that probably wish that they weren't online anymore. For starters, one of my favorite stories of a celebrity being exposed on social media has to be what happened to Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady is a freak of nature when it comes to his skills on the football field, and with his big trade to Tampa Bay, the state of Florida is going to have to contain his excessive need to work out. I mean, you'd think that he'd just have a gym in his house, but Brady was actually caught working out in a park that was closed due to the pandemic. The best part was that when a city worker walked over to tell him that the park was closed, he thought that she was asking for an autograph. Fair assumption. The City of Tampa's Twitter account actually tweeted at him saying, "Sorry Tom Brady, our Tampa Parks rec team can't wait to welcome you and our entire community back with even bigger smiles. Until then, stay safe and stay home as much as you can to help flatten the curve." Now, moving out of sports though, the pandemic really put an extreme focus on the cancellation of Ellen DeGeneres. When the pandemic happened and everyone went into lockdown, Ellen had a choice to make. She could have saved the staff that she had on with her for many years and allowed them to work from home, but instead she bailed on them and hired an independent company instead. This clearly did not sit well with her former staffers and thus unleashed a litany of complaints about the star. Not only that, but we also had a full Twitter thread of just negative interactions in general with Ellen that led many to believe that she was nowhere near the Queen of Nice like she wanted us to think. For example, the poor waitress who nearly lost her job after Ellen allegedly complained to management that her nail polish was chipped during service. On top of that, her comments about her $27 million home feeling like a jail cell wasn't viewed as comical, but rather a flaunting of privilege in these uncertain times. Something that both was unnecessary and made people realize how truly out of touch some celebrities are. The truth about Ellen is that she has been involved in the world of branding and celebrity imagery for so long that now her hot takes are suddenly nowhere near relatable to the general public. Chrissy Teigen also recently tried to show off the results of her eyebrow transplant, and her critics were appalled by her rich people problems while most people struggle to pay their bills ahead of the holidays. After tweezing off all of her eyebrows, Chrissy told her followers on Instagram that she had just undergone a hair transplant procedure to fill them all back in. People really went at her for this though on Twitter. One user wrote, "Chrissy Teigen got an eyebrow transplant, y'all. People have way too much money. The world is going to hell in a handbasket, but thank heaven that Chrissy Teigen was able to transplant her eyebrows." And Chrissy ended up seeing all of these social media posts calling her out and decided that she wasn't going to sit around and take it. She even posted a screenshot of an article that was criticizing her eyebrow transplant and wrote, "Why are people so riled up over any little thing I do? You're gonna give yourselves a heart attack." Now, another person that probably had a heart attack upon getting exposed on social media was Jimmy Fallon. He was another celebrity that was exposed on social media during the pandemic. Jimmy Fallon had to apologize for doing an impersonation of fellow comic Chris Rockwell in blackface during an episode of Saturday Night Live in 2000. Discussion of Jimmy's 20-year-old skit surfaced after a video of it was posted online. According to entertainment trade media outlet Variety, it was first posted on Twitter and showed Fallon as Chris Rock appearing on a talk show. When the clip began to go viral, many people called for Fallon to be fired from The Tonight Show, although instead he just issued a lengthy apology. Fallon tweeted, "In 2000 while on SNL, I made a terrible decision to do an impersonation of Chris Rockwell in blackface. There's no excuse for this. I am very sorry for making this unquestionably offensive decision and thank all of you for holding me accountable." He did seem genuinely sorry for this mistake and fully aware that even his fans were going to be holding him accountable. Now, most of these celebrities are being exposed for something terrible that they did in the past, but for Britney Spears, it was her conservatorship that was exposed by fans. A Free Britney movement had started online that claimed the celeb was being manipulated and had not been in control of her life for the last 13 years. This was approved by the court system in 2008 after Spears had several public mental breakdowns. This decision then put her entire estate, financial assets, and some personal assets all under the control of her father and his lawyer. But on November 12th in a Los Angeles County Superior Court, Judge Brenda Penny officially terminated Britney Spears' conservatorship. This was said to happen effective immediately upon the decision, which would free the 39-year-old pop star from the control of her father. In a post celebrating her big win, Britney said, "Good God, I love my fans so much, it's crazy. I think I'm gonna cry the rest of the day. Best day ever, praise the Lord. Can I get an amen? Hashtag freed Britney." Britney's attorney Matthew Rose Rosengart also told the courts, "The time has come after more than a decade for the conservatorship to be terminated in its entirety." And it's crazy to say that Britney Spears is finally free. I mean, hit that like button if you agree. Now, to shift lanes for a second though, let's go over to Tekashi 6ix9ine, because he was a celebrity that built his entire career off of social media. So it's no wonder that it eventually began to interfere with his real life. His real name is Daniel Hernandez, but under his rap name, he shot to fame with the release of his debut mixtape Day 69. However, just as he was beginning to build a career in the entertainment industry, he was arrested for violating the Federal RICO Act. These were laws pertaining to racketeer, influenced, and corrupt organizations. He faced a minimum of 32 years, which was a lot better than the original 47-year sentence that he was given. After deciding to snitch on the other crimes committed by the 9 Trey Bloods, allegedly along with Mr. Hernandez, they committed a number of illegal activities, including robbery, narcotics trafficking for the benefit of protecting the power, territory, and profits of the gang and its organization. Once Tekashi was on house arrest though, he couldn't just stay off of social media. This is actually one of those celebrities who exposed themselves during the pandemic. Thanks to his constant flexing on Instagram, Tekashi has had to relocate several times after fans discovered where he was staying. Sometimes celebrities are exposed though on social media for being creepy, and that has to be the best outcome of these powerful elite joining Instagram. For example, the time that James Franco decided to slide into the DMs of a fan that was underage. A girl from a small Scottish town was on a trip to New York City when she ended up getting to meet Franco at his Broadway show called Of Mice and Men. After tagging him in an Instagram video that is no longer available, James began flirting with her through the app. Lucy didn't believe that it was actually James Franco though, so she inquired about proving his identity, which he did with no issue. He was very aggressive too with trying to get this fan into his bed, which really changes the way that you look at him. I mean, asking if he should get a hotel room right after asking if she was single is just nuts. Then to see her tell him that she would come back to New York City when she turned 18 only made him persist further, which was also really gross and proved that he had crossed the line. The thing with being that famous though just means that sometimes people will try to expose you on social media without any evidence. I mean, some have evidence like those James Franco DMs, but others can be, just hearsay. Before Justin Bieber got married to Hailey Baldwin, there were rumors online that he was infamous for hooking up with his fans. It became so well known that he would do this that hundreds of fans would figure out wherever he was staying and crowd outside of the hotel entrance. During a Reddit Ask Me Anything that I inquired about stories of people that have slept with rock stars, this Bieber story popped up, and upon reading it, I realized just how far Bieber had allegedly taken these fan interactions. A user named Molly Moon said, "Summer of 2013, my friends and I met Justin Bieber at Music Nightclub in Toronto. One of my friends ended up leaving with Justin and his boys to go back to the Hazelton Hotel. She ended up sleeping with Justin and multiple boys from his crew. There were like 5 girls there, and they made them all sign contracts and took away their cell phone. He referred to himself as JB and made everyone sit around and listen to him sing for like an hour while he continuously smoked a ton of weed. Too funny." I don't know what's worse though, the fact that he took away their cell phones or the fact that he made them all sit around and listen to him sing. But again, this is an alleged story, because sometimes old tweets actually come back to haunt a celebrity's future career as well. Take Jack Maynard for example. Jack Maynard was once part of the British reality TV series called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Jack had to pull out of the show though after just 3 days in the jungle, and part of the reason had nothing to do with actually surviving in the jungle. The YouTube star, who has 1.53 million subscribers, was exposed big time when a series of nasty tweets of his from 2011 to 2013 began to emerge. In addition to the racist and homophobic tweets that he put out, he was also accused of soliciting nude photos from a 14-year-old fan on his Facebook account. All of these tweets have been deleted from his Twitter page, but there were a ton of screenshots where he called people the N-word and just was pretty terrible overall. Like a ton of tweets where he did this. His representative went on to tell the press that Jack is ashamed of these tweets and that he would never use that language now, and realizes this kind of inflammatory, insulting language is completely unacceptable. In response to this, Jack said, "I'm sorry to anyone that I upset, anyone that I offended, anyone I made feel uncomfortable. Growing up, I was all over social media. My entire life was on social media, and through that it led to my job. I've tweeted some bad things, some horrible things that I'm ashamed of. I never wanted to make anything like this. I feel like I've let you guys down so much. I was young, I was stupid, I was careless, I just wasn't thinking." And he certainly was not. For now though folks, that's all the time that we have for today. Stay classy, and I'll see you on the next one.